Hello and welcome back to the Panther Sports Zone. I'm Dorian Waller.
And I am Joshua Howard.
And Josh, I had this conversation with Eric when it was our first time getting back on the desk together. Now I'm going to go ahead and have this conversation with you. This is our first time, specifically me and you, together on the desk since the LPGA event. How you feeling, man? New year.
New year, same people, great vibes. I'm glad to be first episode on the desk with Dorian. He's really stepped up as a director, taking charge in a lot of things, and I'm glad to be a part of this process. I'm glad to be here, even though, sadly, this is going to be Dorian's last year here, last semester actually. So I just want to make every Panther Sports Zone special because you got to go out with a bang. You got to go out with something. So, we're going to try to do that. We're going to do that for you, Dorian.
You buttering me up.
We got you.
And I'm really glad back when we were roommates, you approached me with the idea of doing KPVU-TV and specifically the Panther Sports Zone,
I remember that.
I
remember his stuff. And
it was crazy.
I said that one time. He was like, "Oh, you want to do KPV?"
Perk my ears up.
I was like, "Okay."
I was going to get you involved.
I'm glad, I'm glad that you did. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoy the people. I enjoy hanging with my friends, doing this. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm glad I found KPVU-TV and Panther Sports.
Don't sound too much. It's gonna sound like you're trying to convince yourself.
No.
But I am glad because at first you didn't want to get on camera, but ever since the LPGA, you've been very comfortable on camera. You're a natural, as you can see. You're definitely a natural.
Ease with the natural word.
I say you're natural. You butter me up, I gotta butter you up. But we definitely have a great show in store for you today. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the basketball team, specifically starting with the men's basketball team. The Panthers bounced back with an 87-76 victory over Alabama A&M this past Monday. The Panthers recovered after dropping a game this past weekend to Alabama State. The Panthers halted a 2-game losing streak with a win versus Alabama A&M on Monday. Javonte Hopkins had a stellar performance, putting up 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals on 11 for 20 shooting from the field. Brian Miles put up a big-time double-double. Outstanding. He grabbed 21 rebounds, a career high for himself, while adding in 12 points. Orlando Horton Jr. and Charles Smith IV combined for 32 points, bringing 4 of our 5 starters into double figures.
Now, let's swing the ball over to women's basketball. The Panthers have recently caught fire, winning their last 3 games in a row. The Panthers have picked up crucial wins over Alcorn State, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M. The Panthers picked up the win over Alabama A&M on Monday, 65-59. Ryan Payne led the way for the Panthers, putting up 27 points and 4 assists on 11 from 17 of shooting. Jada Robertson, sorry if I mispronounced that name, my fault, added in a crucial 15 points for the Panthers, providing the scoring lift the Panthers needed to secure the win. Over the course of their last 3 games, the Panthers are holding their opponents to just 52.3 points per game. You're not getting 55 on me. You're not getting 55.
They're playing great defense. Amazing.
I want to take a break from the script, but I was there at that. I was there for the past 2 games. Mm-hmm. When I tell you they were hooping, they weren't playing basketball. No, they were hooping. They were doing especially Ryan Payne. I've seen Kyrie Irving in action, but it's another thing to see her, dribbling. It's another thing. She wasn't. Nobody was touching her. 27 points. 27. That means every time she had the ball in her hand, she was shooting.
And when I saw that she transferred from, LSU, and keep in mind LSU's basketball team, man, when I tell you LSU's basketball team is crazy, and to have her here at Prairie View, I feel like people are really underrating that move. You know what I'm saying? I feel like her addition kind of takes off some of the slack of the starters that we lost last year, just her scoring, her ability to move the rock. I think she might be one of the better playmakers on the team. She threw a crazy pass a couple weeks ago, kind of went viral on Twitter a little bit. She's been really stellar, and the Panthers defense has just really rallied around her and Coach Pugh. 52.3 points per game. They held their last opponent, Alabama State. Well, not their last opponent, their game before the last. They held their opponent to 45 points. That's just lockdown defense. You're not scoring on them. So I just feel like that's just
about WNBA.
Man,
let's talk about it. But speaking on that, on Monday, our very own Eric Lyle and DeAndre Lockett were able to speak to both Panther squads about their impressive wins. Now let's throw it to Eric and DeAndre.
Hi, my name is Eric Lau, and I'm reporting for KPVU-TV Panther Sports Zone. And I was able to attend the Prairie View A&M Panthers men's basketball game on Monday, where the Panthers recorded an 87-76 victory over the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Javante Hopkins led the game with 31 points leading the way with his two-way play, as well as Brian Miles recording a huge 21 rebounds for the team as they were undersized versus a big opponent. I was able to catch up with Hopkins, Miles, as well as head coach Smith, to talk to them about how the game went and how they went about their process during the game.
I'm Eric Lau, once again reporting for KPVU-TV, and I'm right here with Brian Miles. And Brian, today you recorded 21 rebounds against a pretty big defensive fielded team. So how does it feel to bang down low with those big bodies?
I mean, it feels good. I got a good squad, got a good point guard, good shooting guard, shoot. And they just feed me, and I just feed off their energy.
That make your job easier?
Yup.
All right. Well, just quick check-in, making sure our guy Brian Miles is all right, and we signing off. And I'm here with Javante Hopkins, and today he was PV's leading team scorer, but I really want to ask him how do you feel about your defensive impact was able to let you swing the game in the first half, leading the entire second half?
I feel like my defense turned into my offense. As a team, honestly, all five of us, we played defense, and that turned into our offense. We got on a run, like an 8-0, 6-0 run, and that's how we got our groove back.
One last question. A lot of people, they see basketball as an offensive first sport, or some people settle themselves into a defensive-minded player. But truly tonight, you showcased how you were as a two-way player. So how do you practice to enable that mindset to make sure you're effective on both sides of the court equally at the same time?
Honestly, with a coach like Coach Smith, well, he locked us in mentally for defense. So, I mean, I give my props to him. Without him, we would probably just be trying to score all the time. But he locked us in defensively. That way we can turn it to offense.
All right. Thank you, Javante.
Sir, thank you.
And today, Coach, you guys had a real defensive battle. You came out a little bit flat. I think you guys had to adjust to their size at first. Can you tell me, like, what do you have to do to instill those guys the confidence in that huddle to make sure they battle defensively first?
Well, we try to pattern ourselves being a defensive team. I mean, since I've been here, the head coach here, it's my 8th year. We've always been about defense. But obviously the league's gotten better. And like you say, they had really, really good size tonight. So there's some big wings, some big inside guys, some good size at the guards. But I think, once we kind of settled down and we locked in, we got some steals, we kind of got out in transition, we're able to run. But we're a very confident group defensively. I think we can match up against anybody in the conference defensively and hold our own. I think we gave them a few too many points late in the game. I thought we should have tried to hold them under 70. They end up getting 76. But solid effort tonight. Win's a win, but we got to get better. Got a big one coming up on Saturday against Texas Southern.
And secondly, I noticed that the press that you guys were able to lay on, it was able to really slow down what they had going on. Do you really prefer to be a pressing team or mug things up in the half court?
I like to think of it as pressure with our length and trying to get traps. But obviously when they've got really good point guards in this league that are really athletic and fast with the basketball. So obviously if you can contain the basketball and keep it out front, keep it out of the paint, that gives you a better chance of being successful defensively. So we like to try to put our guys up, our athletic guys up, to try to slow them down a little bit and try to create some traps, which I think we did. And we ended up turning them over 20 times. Got 20 turnovers tonight. So that was a really good defensive effort. The only problem, we had 16 turnovers. I wasn't happy with that. But win's a win. Like I said, we got to get better. You're gonna have to be better on Saturday against Texas Southern. They're a really good team.
All right. Thank you, Coach. All right.
Appreciate you.
My name is DeAndre Lockett. I attended the PV versus Alabama A&M University game, and I interviewed Ryan Payne and Jada Robertson. All right, hey guys, it's D from KPVU-TV Panther Sports Zone, and today we are here with Ryan Payne and Jada Robertson. Both of them had an amazing game today. Ryan had 27 points and Jada Robertson had 15 points. So my question to you guys is, how do y'all get ready for a game to be able to perform the way y'all did tonight?
Me personally, I rested a lot today, not gonna lie, and yesterday, just being off my feet and eating right.
Right.
Yeah, and to prepare, I just always in the gym, but I meditate, I stretch, I just do whatever I can to make sure I'm ready for the game.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a good rest of your season.
And what an incredible win, man. I wish I could have attended the game personally, but I watched a little bit of it online on the YouTube channel while they were live streaming. And man, when you said the Panthers were hooping, I mean, just both squads, just hooping. Just very impressive. And I'm really, especially for the women's side of basketball, because I'm definitely going to talk about the women's, they're the first team I ever covered, so they got a little special place to me, you know what I'm saying? Right. With the women's squad, I'm highly impressed, and I feel like a lot of people are doubting this team, like I mentioned previously before we saw the MMJ package. I feel like this team has what it takes to make a surprisingly deep playoff run in the tournament. And I feel like, with the defense, if they can keep this up, because that was one of my key pointers at the start of the season. I mean, if this team can really lock in on defense, sky's the limit. And I feel like they can surprise a lot of teams, including Jackson State.
Of course. Honestly, when you talk about defense, I've seen a lot of women's basketball, but none of them are playing defense like the Panthers. I'm sorry. It sounds kind of biased, but from what I saw, you can't get the ball half court without a Lady Panther right up on you.
Man, let me tell you.
You cannot move that ball without a hand in your face. You can't do anything without them having a say in it. If you make an error, if you make a mistake, they will capitalize on it so fast. It takes 2 seconds for them to score a basket. I'm being a little.
That's impressive.
I'm being a little, but realistically, probably 4 seconds. They will turn it over. You miss a three, you miss a layup, and that's what was happening with Alabama the other day. I don't know her name, but number 11, she was going up for layups, but they just weren't falling. We capitalized on that. They're not falling. They're going to fall for us, and they did. Every layup, every three that they shot or they attempted to make, they was right by. They were ready. They were ready for everything. That's what I'm trying to say. They were ready for everything.
Solid paint defense.
Solid.
And speaking
everything.
of paint dominance, man, I definitely want to give a shout out to Brian Miles. I mean, a career high 21 rebounds against Alabama. I mean, that is just dominance.
21 rebounds.
That's
crazy.
like, I know Mr. Hopkins had 31 points, and that's very impressive. Like, don't get me wrong, that's very impressive. But for 21 rebounds in a game as a starting center, I mean, man,
21.
That's effort, that's hustle. And, I just feel like that had the Panthers men's basketball team's effort has been called into question before. And I feel like they're really shutting this down. Like, all that naysaying, I feel like they're really shutting it down. Similar to the women's basketball team, they had a lot of doubters coming into the season, especially with those couple of games that they dropped, the last two before the Alabama A&M win. But like the Lady Panthers, I feel like this men's team can make the tournament, and they will make some noise.
They're both of them are going to do some damage. Wherever I personally believe that they train with each other because that competition, that fierceness.
Oh yeah,
I see that when I'm watching a game, when I'm watching a basketball game, a for real NBA basketball game. That same ferocity, that same ferociousness. We're doing that. We're taking every step to make sure you don't score. We're gonna score. We're gonna play basketball. We're gonna hoop today. I'm watching. They got me. They got a fan. They got a fan. Both of the teams. They got fans. But let's take it over from basketball. Let's go to men and women's track. Track season has officially kicked into high gear. This past month, the Panthers participated in 2 meets: the HBCU Classic Weekend and the New Mexico Team Open. For the second week in a row, the Lady Panthers showcased their prowess in the HBCU Classic presented by Humana and the Norton Healthcare SLC. The Lady Panthers, led by their impressive performances, secured a first-place finish with a total of 244 points, dominating the competition. Now let's dive into the standout performances of our Lady Panthers. The women's 4x200 Team A consisted of Aja Harris, Darnisha Likes, Sydney Stewart, and Amari Khan, crossing the line with a time of 1 minute and 40 seconds, setting the tone for the day. In the 4x400, Jalen Smith, Syria Burke, Jazir Miller, and Cara Stewart secured another first-place finish with an impressive time of 4 minutes and 1 second. Darnisha Likes achieved a career-best time of 7.63 in the women's 60-meter run, earning a second-place finish. Sydney Stewart finished third with a time of 7.64, a significant improvement from the previous week. Sanaya Kitchen and Cara Stewart dominated the women's 60 meters hurdle, securing the first and second place with a career best time of 8.88 and 8.92. respectively. Darnisha Lights continued her strong showing, grabbing second place in the women's 200 meter with a time of 25.38 seconds. Aja Harris clocked a personal best of 54.64 in the women's 400 meter, while Jazir Miller secured a second place finish with a time of 58.99, also a personal best. Zara Richardson and Miracle Price showcased their talents in the women's 600, claiming the first and second spot with personal best times of 1 minute and 39 seconds and 1 minute and 43 seconds, respectively.
On the men's side, the Panthers put on stellar performances throughout the Classic. Anthony Managram, Clayton Terry, Christian Derrick, and Kellen Morgan finished first in the men's 4x4 meter relay. The Panthers continued their dominance throughout the meet, with Arian Knight placing first in the men's 60-meter hurdles, Christian Derrick placing first in the men's 400-meter race, and Noah Green placing first in the men's 3,000-meter race. Oseabulu, Jaden Harris, and Camden Parsley showed out for the Panthers jumping squad. Jaden Harris finished the meet with 2 first-place finishes, one in men's long jump and another in men's triple jump. Camden Parsley placed first in men's high jump. Oseabulu followed suit, finishing the high jump event with a second-place finish. Congratulations, Panthers. The Panthers will look to continue their early season surge at their next meet, the Howie Ryan Invitational at the University of Houston on February 9th. And, I just want to pause right here to talk about the track team. A little known fact that I do know a lot of these people on the track team, and man, they're really excited about this season. They're getting one of their better runners back, one of the better jumpers, with Nathan Crawford Wallace returning to the lineup. And, I just feel like this track team, this track season, don't get me wrong here, they were known for their dominance 2 seasons ago. Don't get me wrong. I mean, these are champions, indoor, outdoor, multiple-time champions. I feel like they're about to get back to that dominance.
I mean, they're Panthers. Of course they're going to get back to the dominance.
Now, that sounds a little biased, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
That's what they do. This is what they ascribe to be. They run. They want to jump. They want to do everything that they can to help themselves and help Panthers, become the best. Like you said, we were champions. We're always going to be champions. And I'm just waiting for everybody to say first place.
Oh,
I'm just waiting.
It's coming.
I'm just waiting for that. And in sports in general, I don't think that PV has been getting the correct recognition.
Never have. Never have.
When going back to the Lady Panthers basketball, that was great basketball. There weren't that many fans there. I kind of have an issue with that because they played just as hard as the boys.
Agreed, 100% agreed.
But we're gonna fix that. That's why we're here. We have 33 shows lined up, and we're gonna report on everything. So I think people watch this. So when we start speaking about, they're winning first place, they're gonna actually go out there and see that
see that dominance.
We're a force to be reckoned with. Let's go. We're gonna take a short commercial break when we will be discussing our women's tennis team and bowling standout Jada Gordon. Stay tuned after the break.
Welcome back to the Panther Sports Zone. Continuing today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the women's tennis team. The Panthers women's tennis team faced off versus the University of Texas at Arlington this past Saturday. The Panthers fell short, losing 7-0. This moves the Panthers to a record of 0-3. The Panthers will hopefully look to move forward on Sunday at 4 p.m. in a matchup against Incarnate Word here at Prairie View. The Panthers will follow up that matchup with matches versus Lamar and the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley. This will bring them to their final 3 games before the SWAC roundup.
Switching over to PVAMU's bowling team, the PVAMU bowling team demonstrated determination and skill, boasts a record of 5 wins and 2 losses, signaling the team's immense potential. As the Prairie View A&M University bowling team faces the challenges of this season, the bowling lanes serve as a canvas for their achievements and the testaments to their capabilities. Joining PV, TSU, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M all share the same record of 5 wins and 2 losses, setting the stage for a highly competitive season. The anticipation builds as these formidable teams gear up for a showdown, creating an atmosphere, excitement, and competition that promises to be unforgettable. February 2nd marks the beginning of the SWAC tournament, where the Lady Panthers will embark on their journey, showcasing their skills and determination on the bowling lanes.
Now, before we wrap up today's show, we wanted to give a special shout out to Coach Bubba and bowling's Jada Gordon. Jada Gordon earned SWAC Bowler of the Week honors this past week, leading all SWAC bowlers with an average of 195.14 at the SWAC Bowling West Roundup. Coach Bubba was selected as one of the head coaches for the upcoming All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl. This comes after a stellar comeback season, leading the Panthers back to the SWAC championship. Coach Bubba and the Panthers have landed multiple impressive signees for the next season. The Panthers will be hosting a special National Signing Day event on Wednesday, February 7th at the Southside Sporting Club in Stafford, Texas. Admission for the event starts at $30. And Josh, before we go ahead and close off today's show, I just want to give a quick shout out to Panther sports all around. I mean, with the signees, the basketball teams. I mean, Jada Gordon, who has been just a stellar bowler her 2 seasons here at Prairie View. I mean, it's just looking like, and I know once again, I mean, we're allowed to do this because, we are Panthers. So we are allowed to have this kind of bias, but I mean.
Of course. Is it really biased? Because it's the truth.
It is a little bit of the truth,
It's the truth.
I mean, man, just,
She's
the bowling
performing.
team.
Everybody's performing. What I can't wait for. I can't wait for baseball season.
Oh yeah, man! I know you're excited.
Starting off with the Cactus Jack Classic. Come February, it's gonna be a scene. People don't like baseball. We're going to love baseball in this space. I'm excited. I'm excited for baseball and softball because it's about to be a good game. It's about to be baseball. It's about to be played. I'm already getting my prize picks drafts. I'm getting my teams ready. I'm getting everything. Because I've seen them play. Mm-hmm. I've seen both teams play. I've seen the baseball and softball, and with a few minor tweaks, these boys are ready for the MLB. Biased, sorry.
Oh my
few minor tweaks.
I like that.
I'm just going off of what they see. I'm going off of what I see. They produce. PV produces productive Panthers.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
but
smooth.
Okay.
Slam
before I go on forever about baseball, which I will do come next month. This wraps up Panther Sports Zone. Make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30 for more episodes. Thank you again for watching. I'm Joshua Howard.
And I'm Dorian Waller. Thank you.